Item 10, consider and take appropriate action to approve an automatic aid agreement for fire services with Roanoke Fire Department. Any comments, Danny?
Mr. Moss, you have that agreement in front of you. What it is an automatic fire protection, automatic aid agreement with the town of Roanoke and Westlake for automatic aid.
Do we have a motion?
Well, wait, can I ask what that, Danny, just explain in a little more detail what that means?
Basically, what that entails is.
Is that
it makes
mutual
it-
aid, Danny?
Yes, it's mutual aid. It's
Okay.
automatic aid for a structured fire, basically.
Okay.
What it mean, go ahead, you can.
What it does is when dispatch gets a call for structured fire, they automatically press a button that gets all three cities moving my direction. Bottom
Okay.
line.
I
And
mean,
vice versa.
yeah, what I've researched and found is this is more for cities that have a substation on the border of another city that they can be there faster, respond faster. As far as us, you know, as a town, we really don't get a lot of benefit from it. In addition, it lowers the ISO rating of like Roanoke because they have technically access to our equipment, correct?
Right.
Yeah, but it's mostly, you know, per, you know, a number of cities I looked at, is if there's a substation on the border and their main station or their station is 5 miles away. Roanoke Station, for them to get to anywhere in Trophy Club, we could respond faster, it's shorter time. Same with Westlake, anywhere we can get there faster, you know, than Westlake coming through the back. Our people are 30 seconds down the Trophywood Drive, and then it's Roanoke would have to come from their station, which is on Byron Nelson, whichever way they come, over the bridge or and into the back or come down the highway. Again, we can respond faster. I checked it out on Google Map, and Microsoft mileage is faster, so we would get no benefit technically.
Are you saying it lowered our ISO?
It would lower Roanoke's ISO.
This
Ours
is,
is
probably
pretty
as
helps
far as I'm
Westlake, too.
concerned, this is not an ISO problem
know,
for
but
me.
that's-
It's an automatic aid problem for me. We had 2 structure fires in a week's time. In both times, we have utilized both cities for mutual aid, and I've had to call them and go through the process, and you know time frame.
That, there's a difference between mutual aid and automatic aid.
Right.
Automatic aid is we're the first responder. They call us out because we're closer. That's what it says. Is that correct?
It's not a matter of first on or whatever. The city's calling.
If the fire is in where the old Marshall Creek was, we would be toned out probably 100% of the time because we are closer. And that's what the automatic aid said
Yeah.
that I read. And again, it's for areas that have substations or something like 2 miles, and the other cities, fire station, Box Springs was an example I read about. They had one right on the border of the Mesquite or something like that, where Mesquite's fire station was about 5 or 6, I think 7 miles away. And that's the example. they gave.
Question.
Whoever.
We, last month, we went over interlocal agreements, we had a list. I just remember an interlocal for automatic and fire aid on that list. Is this replacing an old one, or is this a new one
No, this
completely?
is a new one.
Who requested it?
The city of Roanoke and us. They put one together.
Okay, but when you say us, I don't recall this at the
That's what's
MUD
in front of
board.
you right now.
What's the purpose of this day? You want all 3 fire departments to descend on the fire? Or
Jim, if your house catches fire tonight and you call 911, they automatically press a button for 3 cities to be there with 5 trucks.
well, that's a
Bottom
good deal.
line.
I appreciate that, but that's the objective, is for
That's the
all
objective.
3 of them to answer every one of these.
The structure fire
Calls
calls,
that
confirmed
occur-
structure fire calls, they come running. Bottom line, simple English.
And the other 2 cities are in favor of
Yes,
this.
they've already passed it. Roanoke's already passed it with Westlake, and they're waiting on us.
And those 2 cities could benefit, because Westlake
We
has a
do too.
substation. They cannot be at a fire faster than us.
On the far northwest corner of our property, I think they can get really
No,
close.
Check it on Google Earth or Microsoft, the route they have to go, and this isn't even including traffic time, when they have to, you know, wait for the traffic over the bridge. They have to come the back way through Byron Nelson, go around and get on 377. That's the route they take.
But
most of the
Kevin,
time.
But Danny, this is not a question of who can get there first.
Right.
It's
This
a
is
question of
me getting
having
me
3
getting the
fire
button.
companies on site.
Exactly, the button being pressed and getting all three divisions in route to my
But
location.
we're not talking about who can get there first, we're talking about having
Right. Multiple
better
vehi-
coverage on
Better
the fire.
More trucks there, quicker setting up.
There you go.
Director Thomas, you have a,
No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. You know, Kevin, in my mind, that's what it sounded like to me you know, we know hard fast that if you can get to that booger bear before 10 minutes and set up, you got a chance to save the structure. And if you gotta fight a fire and we got a truck and we can roll 2 trucks, but you need 4 trucks, why would we not do that?
Okay, if we get called out to Roanoke, Westlake, on the far side of Westlake, who's gonna cover our residents? You're gonna rely on mutual aid, Roanoke or Westlake, responding as a backup?
No,
Our
that's when,
trucks,
that's when we do resource management. We call South Lake or Flower Mound or whatever, we cover our bases.
and how do you do it now? You call mutual aid when you get to the fire?
Yes.
And it's.
Just like we had Grapevine sitting in our station, a couple of months ago when we was in Roanoke helping them with the fire.
Yeah, but that's again, mutual aid. So what's wrong with mutual aid? And, strap our people. I did mutual aid, if you Google mutual aid versus automatic aid, it specifically says it's for situations where someone else's, a bordering city has a station closer and can respond faster. It doesn't say all 3 respond at the same time.
But that puts
And that'd
me
be
in
not
route to
too
the
smart.
fire, making radio calls to my dispatch saying, well, I need this, when they can already press the button when they got the information over the phone.
any further discussion?
Danny, when did the city of Roanoke, or town, I guess city of Roanoke and the town of Westlake approve this, automatic fire protection?
They have one in place for the 2 cities now, by both their councils.
No,
So-
when, David?
Well, this is a new one.
But
with-
right
with
now,
us. So
right now, it doesn't include
when did
us.
they approve this version?
I don't
What
know if they've
dates?
approved this version. They're waiting on us, because we changed the titlement in there to Trophy Club Municipal Utility District Number 1, not the Town of Trophy Club. The first one that came out said the Town of Trophy Club, which just doesn't cover EMS, it just covers structure fire calls.
Did you say this doesn't cover EMS?
It does not cover EMS.
I thought you had told Pam that it did, and we added that in, is the reason I'm asking.
I don't think they're including EMS, this is for.
You said that it did in an email where we asked,
In
and
this,
Pam
in this
added it
draft,
in.
it has emergency medical services in what's in the packet.
Okay, I'm looking at a different there, so
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Well,
So we'll have to get one with the city too, as far as EMS goes.
we don't want
City
all
is a
3
signatory on
ambulances.
this
show up.
Yes.
draft, yeah.
Yes, okay, okay.
Is it true? We
Yeah.
don't want all 3 ambulances, but we'd like to have all 3 fire trucks.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Danny,
But we also, just like in our medical coverage, when we pull out of the station with our trucks going to structure fire, we drop the medical entity, a medical part of our equation on a structure fire. We call that in for aid, whether it's automatic aid or mutual aid.
Danny, do you think you could kind of break this down a little bit so that we all understand what is the difference of this automatic aid versus mutual aid? I think that's kind of where everybody's got a disconnect. Maybe if you broke
we need
it
the
down,
pros and
how
cons.
each of the
How
this
how
benefits
this improves
different
on
than
mutual
aid.
mutual aid that are, and you told me this was a new agreement, but at the same time you said it was replacing another agreement. Now, is this replacing the mutual aid agreements?
Oh,
So we have interlocal mutual aid
we have
agreements.
an interlocal agreement for mutual aid. It means they'll come to us anytime we call them, we'll go to them anytime they call us.
Okay.
But what this does is this sets a policy and a procedure to, when dispatch gets a call for confirmed structure, when their call takers get the call for a confirmed fire, they press one button that gets all 3 cities moving in our direction.
That's-
And in that box, we set the perimeters of what needs to come, a ladder, an engine, a medic, or whatever.
This one of the guidelines, this is emergency, or emergency technology and tactics. One of the things, never send more than 50% of your equipment. I mean, we're gonna send all of our people to respond to the fire, right?
We are.
Well, that's one of the things it highlights, never send.
We're so small of a community and small of a department that we have to have mutual aid. We have to have some type of,
Again, you're saying mutual aid, this is automatic aid.
It's
It also
right.
says, rely on the primary fire department as the first call. So,
What I'm trying to do, as simple as I can say it, is I'm trying to set up a procedure where if we have a confirmed structure fire, your house is on fire, I call dispatch, or when you call dispatch for a 911 call saying your house is on fire, they press a button, it gets all three towns moving my direction for fire support. Bottom
you-
line.
and I differ with your, if you have a house fire, you wait till you get there and then call mutual aid?
No,
A house fire,
start the
for your
process.
4 or
I-
5 people aren't gonna put out a
I
house
start the
fire.
process as far as when I get en route, but look at the time lapse from the 911 call taker to us receiving the tones, to us getting in our vehicles and moving toward the direction you're saving time in lives.
We'll agree to disagree, but I think it's putting more of a burden on our residents that pay for our fire equipment to us be there, not wait for someone to respond from Westlake, because we're out responding on automatic aid somewhere else. Now you're talking time.
And if it turns out to be a non-confirmed structure fire, then units get replaced or released or whatever. We have management programs.
So that person's in Roanoke or Westlake on the south side, they have to come all the way over where they would have been in the Trophy Club Fire Station. So your house or my house is on the ground now.
I think, Danny, we're looking for, you might call it pros and cons, but we're looking at what's the benefits to the Mud District for fire protection to enter into an agreement like this.
The benefit of this automatic aid is to ensure the life and property of each individual person in this community, the fastest reliable resource for fire protection, bottom line.
And Danny, that's what we fund in the fire department for you to do, for the oversee the fire department, have all the right equipment. That's why we get you the ladder truck you need and all the equipment that you need and the training you need. What I'm asking is, because we're entering into this agreement with 2 other towns, and we also can have the town of Trophy Clubs in here because EMS is included, what is the benefits to this fire district to enter into this agreement? And I want it in writing. I don't want it just orally discussed here. I would like to have seen this before. This is now, this pops up, and that's all that's here. Mutual aid, I know how it works. I've seen it working in our town. I know when we have a structure fire here, Roanoke or another town is covering at the fire station. I know how that. Why is this better than mutual aid? And if you're going to say, okay, there's a time factor involved because of the way the management of this system works, fine. Write it down and give it to me so I can see it. Okay? By
Motion
just
to
simply saying it, it doesn't make it something that I can grasp and look at.
I'd make a motion that we table this item until we get a pro and con that, is more clearly a better understanding of what it's gonna provide. our
And
residents.
also, part of that, I'll second the motion. I'd also know, are the towns of Westlake and Roanoke waiting on this from us? So they have passed a version of this?
They've passed versions of them too to help each other.
Okay, I like to see if it's it can't be exactly like this, because this includes EMS. So they'd have to be amending theirs anyways. I'd like to know the dates they adopted their agreements, whether it's Roanoke or Westlake. And I'm not sure about where the town of Trophy Club is as far as EMS services. But it feels like we're the last ones, involved in this and this is the first time it was ever brought to my attention. I've never seen this agreement before.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I would like to say this. I think it's a good idea. So I'm going to support it. I think 3 fire trucks, even if that's too many.
We bump out of the station with 4 people, guys. We have 4 people on staff, 5 on a good shift, but we have the most at 5 people to man 2 trucks.
Okay,
Motion to table in second.
okay, we have a motion to table in a second.
Call for the vote.
Further discussion?
Yeah, well, Danny, they've requested some further information. Can you get the information that's requested?
I'll get back with.
If you can get that,
Mr.
again,
For all
copy
the
all
board.
of us,
For the
copy
whole
all of
board.
us on it,
That's fine.
okay? All right, any further discussion?
Nope.
If not, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? We got 1, 2, 3 in favor and 2 against.
Wait, just check if they're against or they're abstaining. Makes a difference.
No, I'm,
I think it was 2
You're
against.
against.
I wanted to vote on the main motion, so if the motion is to table it, I vote no against
Okay,
table.
got it.
Same.
Okay, got it.
Okay,